York Mets playing in their first World Series in 15 years. Now 2 games in the hole. It's not looking great for the Amazons. Joining me now is former New York Mets player and World Series champion Darryl Strawberry. He's to my left, if you didn't notice, along with Steiner Sports founder and CEO Brandon Steiner. All right, so what's going to happen here? Are Mets going to step it up or what? Your forecast.
Of course. I mean, we were down 0-2.
Good to have you here, by the way.
Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me and Brandon here. And of course, we were down 0-2 in '86, but we realized that we can win no matter what. And I think the team need to realize that they can win, regardless of being down 0-2. It's baseball, and anything can happen. And you're coming back home, and you're playing in front of the greatest fans ever. New York fans, and there's nothing like it. So you're going to have the excitement.
Oh, come on now. You're talking to a Chicago Cubs girl.
Oh, we already did them in.
We had a pretty good year. Come on.
Yeah,
no, but it's really fun. It's really fun to talk to you because of, obviously, your World Series experience. How's this team different than any of the World Series championship teams that you played on?
Well, it's a lot different than the time I played in '86. We were a very confident team with a swagger, and no one comes
confidence and a swagger.
Well, our team had that. No one comes into Shea Stadium and just think you're going to run over us. We just didn't play that way. So
that's the thing, though. You were down 2 games in 1986. You had confidence. You, Dwight, Keith Hernandez, Ron Darling, Davey Johnson managing the team. What was the conversation like before Game 3?
Well, we just had a day off, Game 3, and we had a big game and game. In Boston, Carter came up with some big home runs, and it's got to be other players to be able to step in and be productive. You can't always have the star players doing it. So I think the Mets have a bunch of players that need to regather themselves and say we can't just look at David Wright and can't just look at these other guys that are starting, but we all got to produce to make this.
All right, well, you're sitting kind of quiet over there. I mean, how does all this feel for you?
Well, having worked with Darryl back in the '80s and back with that team, first of all, I would say is these guys. I mean, there was never a worry. There was such a level of confidence just from the outside. It was just amazing. But I think
how valuable is his memorabilia now?
It's still very valuable. The '86 team is very valuable. People love collecting it. We're doing a big event at the end of January. But what's valuable is, for me as a business person in New York, the indirect revenue that comes into a town like this. You don't realize. I mean, several $100 million. Hotels, sports bars, sporting goods. Steiner Sports, our website, probably an all-time high over the weekend.
Wow.
And we haven't seen that with the Mets, but just in general, that's a huge boost of revenue.
Wow.
So it's been phenomenal. But this team, the fact that 30 years later you can name 20 guys is unbelievable.
And he's a Yankees fan, and he did it.
We got to cut it there, you guys, because the show's ending. But it's great to have both of you, Brandon and Darryl, on set with us. Go Mets.
Go Mets. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks to you both.